Welcome to This Just In, the show bringing you the latest advancements in healthcare, strategy, innovation, and public policy. And now, for the fastest voice in healthcare, here's your host, Justin Barnes.
Welcome back to This Just In Radio Show, broadcasting live from HIMSS 25 in sunny Las Vegas. I'm very excited to introduce my next guest. Longtime friend of mine, or at least we've been doing a little bit of work together, but new friend of the show specifically, Dr. Eric Quinones, Chief Healthcare Advisor with Worldwide Technology. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Good to be here.
Good to have you here. Before we dive into the questions, when did you get in town?
I got in on what is today?
I know, today's Wednesday. I know, I'm with you, 100%.
Monday.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, we got in on Sunday, and then I don't know if you had the bad winds, but we actually had to board our landing. First time I've ever boarded a landing on a jet before.
Oh boy,
coming in.
What did you come from?
That flight was from LA actually, but
Okay.
Sarasota, Florida. But we went through LA
Okay.
to get here. But yeah, the winds were pretty bad coming in. So
sorry about that.
Yeah, it was interesting, very interesting. Anything you've seen that's fun around here for HIMSS 25 so far?
So I've been coming to HIMSS since 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems post COVID, it's gotten its legs back.
It has, yes, I
for
agree.
sure. Again, I would say from last year or the last few years, still AI is top of mind. Which I get. Cybersecurity is top of mind, and health equity is definitely top of mind. So yeah, there's some themes I think that have been around for a few years, but things are maturing a little more in some of those areas.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, we're seeing real life examples, not just talking about AI, but how is it making a demonstrable difference in care, finances, interoperability even.
Right.
So,
Right. Yeah, no, that's a big one. I mean, we're really seeing, from November 2022, really when I would say AI became democratized, although it's been around since the 50s,
Right.
We really have seen some tangible use cases, both on the clinical care side, and then also on, I would say, the efficiency side,
Yes.
of the house.
Absolutely.
Operation excellence, or we see that there too. So yeah, we see it in a lot of areas that are very practical now.
Yep.
Right.
So I think even taking off from there, what progress are you most excited to see in the industry today?
Well, okay, so my daughter came to me over the summer, and she said she is going to pursue medicine.
Al?
So I did not pressure her.
Yeah, that's
my
great.
best friend did that, and then he's a physician as well.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I said, look, I would probably not be too excited about that if we weren't where we are today. Meaning, by the time you're ready to practice, you're on your own.
Good point.
It's going to be a different environment.
Yeah.
You're going to be practicing medicine completely differently. So some real amazing things that we've been seeing, to help reduce physician burnout.
Right. I was gonna say, less burnout. She'll be in the world, and hopefully there's a lot less burnout on the clinician side. Yeah.
Right.
Good
So
point.
that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
And then with her, so definitely when we're seeing ambient technologies being used within, the patient-doctor relationship, when it's actually documenting the note and reducing that time that would take for us normally to do that, that's a big burnout.
Yep.
And then actually chart review. So we spend about a third of our time
Yes.
just looking at patients' records to see, okay, what are they coming in for again? What did I miss, or what's been missed? But to be able to use large language models to curate that data and to put it up right there, right before, say 5 minutes before, now we know exactly what we should be talking about with that patient, what may have been missed in terms of their health maintenance and things like that. So that is some really amazing time-saving things that we're seeing.
Yeah, and if we want to move on to the next question, the last time we met up, we were on a panel, and you brought up the importance of interoperability, and that was actually not specifically one of the topics, but we brought that up as a key topic. Give a minute or so on your thoughts there, because we don't talk about it enough. We kind of are, it's obviously been a topic for 20 years in the industry.
Sure.
We're always getting better. It'll never slow. We'll always get better at interoperability. However, we don't talk about it as much. AI takes up a lot of the room.
I agree.
Go ahead and give 30 seconds on the importance of interoperability, data sharing, data exchange. Go ahead.
100%, I agree. So you can't really have you can't apply the technology of AI unless you have good data, right?
Yes.
So if our data is disparate, it's dispersed, and it's not in a format that we can actually consume, that's a problem.
Absolutely.
So that's a problem. So interoperability is a problem we'll continue to battle for years to come.
Yes.
It has to be fixed because if we can't actually have the patient's records where that patient may have gone to see somebody, in another state, or they may have been in another country, etc. And now they're with me. I don't know what's happened somewhere else because maybe they don't know or they don't remember.
That's right.
So to have that is really important because then that data will be feeding the models that we'll be using. So interoperability is really critical, and we need to be better at it.
Yes.
I think every day we get a little better,
We do.
but it's got a ways to go still.
Yeah, we do. And I think the importance there is the opportunity with AI will never hit its peak if we don't have the data unleashed. We talked about that at a dinner Monday night. We had a clinical research dinner with actually AWS and talked about how we need. So they're going to push a lot of these institutions to use FHIR as a standard,
right?
Because we can do much more with AI, much more quickly. Certainly with GenAI, if this data is being shared,
right?
But we actually limit ourselves tremendously if we don't have that interoperability. So
100%.
And no one's talking about that. We had talked about it at our dinner, but we had 40 people in the room. I wanted to get this out there more often because again, we're not talking about it quite enough.
Good. I'm glad you're doing that.
Yep. Thank you. So, what trends are you seeing in the industry today? We talked a little bit on the start of the show, but what are your thoughts on what you're seeing out there?
Well, I mean, yeah, definitely AI. I mean, AI fatigue, right?
Yeah.
So, but cybersecurity is a big one.
Yep.
So I think I saw some recent statistics like in the next 5 years. We expect to have about 500 breaches across the U.S.
Wow.
That'll affect about 150 million patients, and each breach, on average, will be about 18 million in fines per breach. So it's a problem.
Wow.
And now we'll be also seeing I would say by 2025, we'll be seeing more surveillance, again, using AI within the cybersecurity realm to really be surveying that environment all the time. And to be battling against, bad,
actors,
actors, and to be more proactive in doing what they need to do. So that's something that I'm definitely seeing more of.
Excellent. So and I think the stat that we've been brought up, or we brought up the last couple of shows, is I think it's the average outage costs about $32 million, $1.9 million a day when the system goes down. But what we don't talk about enough is all the patient care that's actually not taking place. I mean, certainly if there's only one healthcare institution in a community and that system goes down, the tens of thousands of people who aren't receiving care for up to, I think the average outage is like 24 days or something like that.
Right.
So it's significant. So we don't talk about the care side, we talk about the financial impact, which is significant, but the care impact.
And so that's a huge thing. So not only are, when you have a situation like that, patients are getting diverted.
Yes.
Maybe they can't be received by that hospital because they just can't, because their systems are down, so they have to be diverted.
Yep.
But the other thing too that people are forgetting is that a lot of our newer physicians that are coming out, they may have not been trained like I was. So and so we were raised on paper records. We did that kind of documentation. So it's easier for us, for someone like me and my generation, to go back to paper when the system goes down. But it's not so easy for somebody that's just newer out of their residency and the system goes down. They have a little more difficulty.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Couple minutes left, so I want to bring up a couple of different points. First of all, what best practices or what strategy would you say, hey guys, this is how you engage. This is a good best practice on how to engage for data resiliency or anything like that?
I think understanding your environment, number one, that's the most important in terms of data resiliency. But it depends on what your goal is. I mean, if it is to shore up your cybersecurity environment, what is your current state? I think not enough institutions don't actually do that assessment. Mm-hmm. So what is their current state? Where are the gaps on the technology, the gaps in the devices that you have in your environment that are entry points into your system? On the AI side, so a lot of healthcare systems are wanting to go down this AI journey.
Absolutely.
Some are definitely at the cutting edge. Some are trying to figure that out. But I think for there is really getting your ducks in a row. So what does your data look like? So data governance, right? We talked about the interoperability, but cataloging your data, et cetera. So knowing the data. 2, your infrastructure, right? Very important. Do you have a high performance architecture to handle the things that you want to do? And do you have the right AI governance? Do you have the right people in the room that are helping to drive the decisions to support the initiatives that you're trying to do?
It's fantastic. Totally agree. So in the closing question, put on we're going to the proverbial crystal ball. What's a strategy we need to be ready to navigate in 2 to 3 years from now that we may not be thinking about?
Oh boy. I think it's going to be really interesting in the next few years where we're going to see So healthcare actually takes in about 36% of the global data. Okay, that's more than any other vertical of any other industry.
That's good stuff.
But of that data, it's still a lot of it is non-discrete. It's
Right.
like 80%. Okay, and we're going to be getting more data. So when you think of your genome, your biomes,
Yep.
you think so. We're going to be getting more data, wearables. So data coming from other places, and then we're going to be seeing. I think what we're going to be seeing is more precision medicine.
Yeah.
So precision medicine will be something that I'm really
Excellent.
excited about.
Yes.
So really, again, targeted to you individually,
Yeah.
right? What are your risks? What can we be doing right now to prevent some of these things that can be showing up in the next 10 years, right? Or if something, you do have, a condition, what is the right treatment for that condition? Because it may be different for you than for me.
Right.
So yeah, I think we're going to be seeing more of that.
Yeah, I love it. I get excited because you're talking about our digital twin, basically, which
Right.
does have our genome sequence, and so we actually will know what drugs can work on us, what will not work. We're much more intelligent. We don't have as many guinea pigs as we were back in the day because we're going to
Correct.
know a lot of that stuff, certainly
Correct.
with GenAI and so forth, and having that digital twin. So I've seen a little bit of that while we're here. We've been talking about it a lot, but we're starting to see a little bit of that. But I completely agree. 2 to 3 years from now, we're going to see that much more mature.
Exactly.
Which
Yeah.
is extremely exciting, certainly as patients.
As patients and doctors, so
Yeah.
it really does, or clinicians, I should say.
Yep.
I mean, all the care team. It's really exciting when we see that kind of progress, because in reality, so here's a fact: in 1950, medical knowledge doubled every 50 years.
Oh, yeah.
Today,
Yeah.
it doubles every 74 days.
Great stat,
I
yeah.
cognitively cannot keep up, so
Right.
we need these kinds of tools to help us.
That's the big thing is our minds can't even keep up.
Right.
And so that's why these tools are going to be invaluable moving forward.
Right.
Dr. Quinones, Worldwide Technology, thank you so much for joining me on air.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Thank you.